We're going to be talking about fun stuff, fun, healthy stuff, with a great panel.
Definitely, we're going to be talking about how to keep healthy and well-being and all these kind of issues that we're all concerned about, having a healthy lifestyle and longevity. So where would you like to sit? Grab a chair. Oh, okay. So I'll sit. So are you shooting up there, Seth?
Yeah, I'm filming as we speak. All right.
So Rebecca, how do you want to be introduced? Rebecca or Rebecca something? Nyajesus, okay. Rebecca Nyajesus. Okay. Rebecca Nyajesus. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome. Are you starting something?
Yeah, it's recording, yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to our new panel. This, I believe, is a discussion that most of us are going to be interested in, is how to keep, as the general topic is naturopathy, health, and with a related subject area of well-being. Most of us are interested in how to live more healthy lives, and this topic and panel discussion is about empowerment. So I welcome anybody who's interested in being informed and having insight on this issue to join us today at Ottawa International Food and Expo to welcome our illustrious, wonderful participants to this panel discussion. We have, to my immediate right, we have Rebecca Nyajesus, who is an author at Ottawa International Food and Book Expo. She's going to be presenting her insights on the subject. We have Catherine Willow, who is also an amazing author. She's going to be talking about her insights as well, and she's going to be introducing herself a bit before we start the conversation. And we have Julie Barbeau, who has made amazing natural products, wonderful snacks. She's going to be introducing herself a bit more as well. So thank you very much for taking the time to join us at Ottawa International Food and Book Expo. So we'll start at Julie Barbeau. We'll give her a couple of minutes just to introduce herself, what her products is, and then we'll go around and sort of the line here, and then we'll start the conversation about our topic today, which is health, naturopathy, and the sort of well-being in society today. Awesome. So Julie, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Ray. Thank you for having me, and welcome, ladies. This is going to be a fun little session. So I've been a naturopath for over 20 years, mom of 3, and I got gestational diabetes with my 3rd child. Life is too short to live without desserts. So what I did is I took the best of Mother Nature, dates, applesauce, raisins, cranberries, spices. I love cinnamon, put them all with organic grains, and I developed a healthy snack and dessert business. So this was when my children were young, so I did a lot of naturopathic medicine before, worked in natural health food stores or with pharmacies to improve the quality of the natural health products available there, and I've grown a lot since then, and thanks to my kids also, who tell me if my stuff tastes good, which is important. So the idea is just to have fun with real food, and that's what life is supposed to be. So there you go.
Fantastic. So we'll go to, thank you very much for Julie. We'll introduce yourself. We'll go to Catherine Willow.
Hello, thank you for being here. So I've been a naturopath for 40 years, registered in Ontario, and I'm also 4th generation in my family. And the specific thing that I do is I use something called German New Medicine, which is the correlation between very specific emotions and how they cause disease. And so I wrote a book because I was so impressed with what was happening with my patients. So I wrote a book about some of the results, intending or hoping to interest our mainstream medicine to make it more accessible.
Yes, how are you doing? My name is Nyajesus, Rebecca Nyajesus.
Where are you?
I am the author of a new book. The title is Empress,
Oh, okay.
Nyajesus,
Thank you.
Nyayecu, The Legs of God. This is a new book and it's talking about a world history, also our history in Ethiopia. In Ethiopia history, the queen's title song was the Queen of Kings. So also about this topic today, I also am the owner of the Kingdom Cuisine. It's a vegan, vegetarian restaurant. And the reason why this came to be is because of health issues that I went through for a long time. So the result was to change my diet, and I didn't know that, and a lot of people, a lot of Canadians went through what I went through, even to surgery, and I was obese. If you can even believe it, I was really big. And it's hard to believe when I talk about this. But I have pictures to prove this. Yes, but it was changing my diet and my life became marvelous. And this restaurant is changing many, many, many lives. So thank you so much for welcoming me here. And I hope to share my story more. Thank you.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, Rebecca, for introducing. Thank you very much, everybody on the panel, for introducing yourselves. Basically, I brought together this panel because I'm somebody who is committed to naturopathy, which is the body healing itself, and us to have more of an awareness about that, because we all, like I said, want to have a more healthy life and to be inspired by the kind of discussions which are going to give us insights on that. So basically, my thoughts today in this sort of conversational style of interview, I have one sort of question for the panel. We can go from there. What do you think? What inspired you to get involved into naturopathy? What do you think is the best definition for it for somebody who doesn't know what it is? So basically, his definition, the importance to you, and what do you think is the current place of naturopathy in society? You can sort of, a general sort of opening, I would say.
Well, I was quite young when I got interested into eating better. In my family, there's a lot of digestive complaints, colitis, and I started having a lot of health problems when I was a young adult. Not serious, but enough to go to the doctor and do a bunch of tests, and I didn't quite understand. And of course, I was raised on crab dinner and cheese whiz and white bread and stuff like that. So you get interested when you hear other people talk about, well, maybe you should try this, maybe you should try that. And I did. And for years, I tried all the different types of diets you can imagine. Started with eating raw foods only, which was fantastic, except at minus 20 in the winter, it's a little difficult, I must admit. So I went through it all, and then I said, well, why, if I find this so interesting and it helped me a lot, why not make a career out of it? Because I was young, I finished business school, and I said, let's study naturopathic medicine. In Quebec, though there's not a lot of rules to the game, so I wanted to make sure that if I was going to get an education, I was getting the best there. So I had to go to Montreal, and it's a 4-year course with thesis, 3,600 hours. You get to know all the basics, and it was never to be replacing what my doctor was saying, because my doctor was always great and very open. It was just to bring on the aspects of nutrition, which I find that is lacking a lot in conventional medicine. And when I met my husband, both his parents and his aunt and uncle were doctors from Eastern Europe, and we were talking the same language. We were talking about nutrition, we were talking about different homeopathic remedies, and to them it was normal in their day-to-day lives. So I was thinking, why is it so taboo here in North America and things like that? And it didn't make any sense. So when I finished my naturopathic course, I actually approached a lot of pharmacies, and they were very interested in hiring me as a consultant because they're interested in getting that part of education that they didn't to complement each other. So that's the idea. Let's work together to find the best solutions, whether it's through nutrition or natural health products, because there's always openness to finding something new to help whether it's for prevention, which is a big key that's important, or whether it's to complement on certain treatments, it's important to stay open. And that's what naturopathic medicine, in my opinion, can bring about, so that we can actually get some good results for everyone.
Okay, so my background, given that I'm fourth generation, I grew up with naturopathic medicine. And as a teenager, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. And my grandmother, who was a medical doctor and a naturopath, sent my mother a homeopathic remedy with homeopathic lithium, and it took away all the schizophrenic symptoms, and I didn't need the conventional treatment. And so when I took my course, I studied in Portland, Oregon. It's a 7-year program. It's very similar to medical school, but then incorporates natural principles. And for me, the main thing about naturopathic medicine is actually the principles, how to understand if a body's depleted or needs detoxification, if it's structurally out of balance, and the role of the emotions. And so the most recent thing I've done is use German medicine, which, as I was mentioning before, tells us what kinds of emotions are connected with different parts of the body. So we do a lot of cancer work with that, and we've saved over $2 million in people not needing their cancer treatment.
Yes, absolutely. My journey is the same as my my friend right here. So yeah, when I was younger here in Canada, about the age of 26, I was doing a lot of things that young people were doing. Like I went to do modeling, and I was one of the background actor of many movies that was done here in Canada. Also, I was the movie called The Confession of Teenager Drama Queen by Lindsay Lohan. And in 2004, we had a big event in Toronto for the Canadian Showcase for Talent and Agencies. It was so big in Toronto. So after that, I find out I wasn't feeling great. And the Universal Airport here wanted to sign me, wanted to take me to Atlanta, Georgia, so they can translate my music. I was a singer also. So I was in a very busy life, and I was excited so much for this kind of thing. But I find out there was something wrong in me after this show. I wasn't feeling well. My heart was so pumping so much, and my head, it just was so spinning. I didn't know what was going on. And then I went to see a doctor, and the doctor told me, we don't know what's wrong with you. We take these tests, but there's nothing wrong with you. So for a while, I could not sleep, I could not sit down. It was hard to go on. My heart became so painful. So I went to see a doctor. They said this is a specialist doctor. So this doctor will tell you what is wrong. And when I saw this doctor, he told me, what we're going to do, Rebecca, is that we find out you have a gallbladder stone. And now, the only option, you're going to go to surgery. I said, surgery, I'm really young. I'm almost 26 years old. So for me to go to surgery, there have to be another option. But the doctor said there is no other option. The only option, you have to go to surgery. And to tell you the truth, Rebecca, it could be like 25% you could die too during the surgery. That was a blow in the head. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was healthy. Everything was going well, and now I have to go through surgery. And I look healthy, I didn't understand. So I went in July of 2003, I went to surgery. I think in 2004, yeah, I went to surgery. It was a long surgery, it was really painful. But thank God I get out of it. I didn't die. They said there were 20% chance that I could die. But it was so bad. So my careers as being a model, also a singer, and a background actor that I was pursuing seemed like crashing down in front of me. But as my life going on, my life wasn't the same anymore. I lost my strength. I lost everything that I have as a person, a young person. It was really bad. So I began to see what can help me, because my body began to grow so much. Like I was gaining weight so much. And the people were wondering, this is a result of the surgery or what is going on? And the surgery is supposed to solve the situation. But it turned out it didn't solve anything. I was gaining weight, I was so weak, everything was so going on the other way. And then this go on and on for a very long time. And I was doing some research, and I found out there were a lot of people who dealing with a heart issue, and they have been going through surgery, like a lot of surgery. And I said this should be, there have to be other way to deal with it, because surgery should be the last thing that we should be going through. Because if you feel like this, the way I feel it's not good at all. So I was doing my research until I find out, okay, the only options you can do now would be just try to change your diet. Why don't you just, go to veggie and fruits and try it out? Maybe you will lose weight, or maybe you will feel better. I say, okay, it's nothing to lose, right? I have been trying everything, and so nothing has been working. So let me try the diet. So I tried the diet for a while, and I was so surprised that my weight began to drop so much. And I was feeling so happy. My health recovered very quickly than I can even imagine. And it became so wonderful. And for a few years I was cooking different kind of food, international ingredient food, adding into the vegan, vegetarian lifestyle. And it became so much. When I cook it, I invite my friends and my loved ones to taste the food, and they would love it so much. And then they would tell me, Rebecca, what you have to do is cook more of this. We think you're gonna do, you have to open a. And they've been encouraging me so much until I say, okay, I'm gonna open a restaurant. So the Kingdom Cuisine was opened in 2021, and it's so great. So this is my life story, and I've been telling my customers and my friends and colleagues, and I'm telling them, before you make a decision to go through a surgery, please try diet. Try many options before you go through that, because it's not a good experience. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Rebecca, for that amazing presentation. One of the things I wanted to get sort of the reaction of the panelists to is an experience I have in terms of people's apparent approach to health based upon the simple process of going into a supermarket lineup. So one thing I noticed that most people, when you go to a supermarket lineup, just generally they want to be healthy. I see them buying, carrots and different fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. But then in my view, they seem to be buying things that are completely counterproductive to all the fruit and vegetables they're taking, stuff which are highly processed, have all kinds of, what in my view is dangerous food additives, because I'm like a food checker. I'm always checking the ingredient label and making sure that these type of unhealthy type of ingredients are not a part of my diet and stuff like that. Just doing things which are contradictory, like somebody who is like, one time I saw the most contradictory thing of someone cycling to keep healthy, and when they're cycling, they are smoking at the same time. So I just wanted to find out whether you have any sort of, have you any sort of personal observations or experiences, or do you just kind of mind your own business? Most people, I think, is mind their own business when they go to the supermarket or whatever, but do you have any sort of a reaction to that in terms of that type of experience?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I actually work 8 hours a week in a supermarket that has integrated a health food store called Nyajecu on the Quebec side. So I see it all the time. Now, in the last few weeks, I saw something and I had to share it with people and actually show the difference, because there's a lot of marketing out there, and the marketing can be devious and not actually tell you exactly what's in the product, and you have to be careful. So when I developed the list of them and the Wise Delicious dessert snack mixes, my idea was to keep it simple. Keep it real food, whole grains, organic as much as possible, the dates, the chocolate, which is vegan, and low sugar, and just remind people you don't need to have 15 ingredients, half of them you can't spell, to understand what you're eating. But one day, I saw this box of chocolate cookies for sale, and they were on sale for $5.49, 6 cookies. And it was written real butter, and it was this nice packages saying it was signature, and I'm not going to name the company, I don't need to. But so I read the ingredients and I looked at it, and I was flabbergasted because it was such marketing for something that was not nutritious. So when you turned the box around, first ingredient was sugar, of course. And yes, they had put real butter, but right beside the mentioned butter was hydrogenated palm oil, etc., and a few things you can't spell afterwards. So you really have to become responsible for your own health and start reading labels, because that is what's going to make the difference between being buying things that you think are healthy when they're not. And that goes for everything. Because when I did my thesis as a naturopath, I actually changed the topic because my father was diagnosed with a terminal cancer. And so I decided to do it on how to prevent illness and how to help cancer patients with alternative medicine in conjunction with their doctor and things like that, to help, as I mentioned before, get all the best knowledge together to help the client. And it starts with food, of course. It's not just that, but you have to realize that you have a responsibility as a person and as a parent to start reading labels, because as long as profit is the number one goal for certain companies, then you're not going to get necessarily the truth out of it. So read labels, but have fun with it, because it does exist. Real healthy food does exist. But be cautious again. To give another example, I went to the Expo Manger Santé in Montreal last year, which is amazing. You don't need to eat when you go there. There's so much sampling, a little bit like today. And there's tons of vegan food and gluten-free food out there, and people assume that it's healthy. Be careful, because a lot of it is also transformed or high sugar. So that's why I decided to develop my healthy snacks and desserts, because everyone was just giving it the label without associating the health that it should come with. So again, become responsible, read labels for yourself, for your family, and know that you can make your own recipes, and if you don't have time, that's why I developed the company, because I know we're all busy. But in grocery stores, yes, you have to have that balance. It doesn't mean you can't have a treat once in a while. I always tell people I'm from Gatineau, Ottawa region. When I go skating, I have my beaver tail. It's just not every day. And so enjoy life, but know that your life and your health is a little bit like balancing your books. So I always give this example, because I developed a QBQ method for healthy eating, meaning watch the quality, watch the variety in your diet, and watch the quantities, and listen to yourself. So at the end of the day, if you've got more bonuses in your habits, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, if you've done a little bit more for your health in terms of eating well and managing your stress levels, because everything's interlinked, emotions and etc. We tend to eat our emotions, so you got to watch for that. So as long as you've got pluses, because you can't control everything, there's still stresses and environmental pollution and all sorts of things like that that we have to deal with, then you'll be on the upper hand so that your own body's inner capabilities of keeping its health and healing will be optimized. And that's what it's all about, while having fun doing it.